made my grandpa cry after he made me feel like his least favorite grandchild. My grandpa had this ritual. Every birthday, he'd take each grandkid to his workshop and help them build something special. A birdhouse for Sarah, a jewelry box for Marcus, a model airplane for Tyler. When my 10th birthday came, he walked right past me and fixed the fence instead. Some kids just aren't builders, he told my dad that night. I heard it through the thin walls. The boy's too soft, spends all his time drawing those cartoon characters. He wasn't wrong. I was the weird kid who'd rather sketch superheroes than play catch. While my cousins bonded with him over power tools and football games, I sat alone filling notebooks with my silly doodles. Family gatherings became performances where grandpa would show off whatever my cousins had built, while my art stayed hidden in my backpack. The rejection stung deeper because I actually tried. I begged him to teach me woodworking. These hands weren't made for that kind of work, he'd say, barely glancing at my drawings. Marcus has the gift. You should find something else. So I did. I threw myself into art with a vengeance. Won school competitions, got into advanced programs, but nothing changed his mind. Even when I won a state championship for my portrait work, he just nodded and changed the subject to Tyler's touchdown. Then last year, I discovered something that changed everything. I was helping clean out Grandpa's attic when I found a box labeled 1952 to 1954. Inside were dozens of sketches, soldiers in trenches, landscapes of Korea, self-portraits of a young man who looked exactly like Grandpa. The detail was breathtaking, professional level. There was even a half-finished comic book about a soldier trying to get home. My grandmother found me staring at them. He stopped drawing after the war, she whispered. Said real men don't have time for pictures when there's real work to do. Broke my heart. He was going to art school before he got drafted. That's when it clicked. He didn't hate my art. He hated that I reminded him of everything he'd given up. I spent the next 3 months on a secret project. Using his old sketches as reference, I created a 40-page graphic novel completing his unfinished story. I drew him young, scared, talented. I drew him choosing duty over dreams. I drew him building things with his hands because he couldn't bear to create with his heart anymore. The final page showed him in his workshop, surrounded by grandchildren, with ghost sketches floating in the sawdust around him, all the art he never made. On his 75th birthday, in front of the entire family, I gave it to him. Happy birthday, Grandpa. I finished your story. His hands shook as he opened it. Page by page, his face changed. The stern jaw softened. The hard eyes filled. When he reached the page where young him is burning his art supplies, saying, real men build things that last, he broke. He cried hard. Decades of suppressed dreams pouring out in front of everyone. I was so afraid, he whispered, pulling me close for the first time in my life. Afraid if I encouraged your gift, you'd end up like me, bitter, full of regret. But you're braver than I ever was. The room was silent. My cousins stared. My parents recorded everything. Then Grandpa did something unexpected. He walked to his workshop and came back with a wooden case he'd been hiding. Inside were professional art supplies, top tier. Must have cost a fortune. I've been collecting these for 2 years, he said, voice cracking. Watching you from the kitchen window while you drew in the garden. Hoping someday I'd be brave enough to give them to you. To tell you that you're not my least favorite grandchild. You're the one who reminds me of who I used to be, who I could have been, and that terrified me. We spent the rest of his birthday drawing together. Him teaching me techniques he'd hidden for 70 years. Me teaching him digital art on my tablet. He cried again when I showed him how to undo mistakes with a simple tap. He posted our first collaboration on Facebook that night. A sketch of us drawing together. Caption: my grandson helped me remember that it's never too late to pick up the pencil you put down. 18,000 shares in 3 days. He's 77 now. We have a joint Instagram account where we post daily sketches. 847,000 followers and growing. Every comment asking about our story, I tell them the same thing. Sometimes the people who push us away the hardest are the ones who see themselves in us the most. And sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone isn't what they built for others, but helping them rebuild what they lost in themselves. Last week, he started teaching art classes at the senior center. Yesterday, a gallery contacted us about a grandfather-grandson exhibition. Should have listened to your grandma, he tells me now, sketching another portrait of her from memory. She always said the only thing worth building was bridges back to who we really are.